Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, my brother, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? My brother, I am a single mom and I am running a small business at this other area in Harare. This business, it is being run in a small complex that is called Gulf Complex. I started running this small business of mine soon after lockdown. I was working at this other company before lockdown. The salary was not great, but at least I was able to pay rent. Me and my kids, we used to stay in a single one-roomed house. I was able to pay my bills and I was able to take care of two of my kids. I have twins, by the way, and they told me that having twins is actually a gift that you can use to make money, because there is something spiritual when you give birth to twins. After lockdown, I was retrenched from work, and the reason as to why I was retrenched from work, my supervisor, he had tried to propose love to me, and I said, no, I cannot do that. I had been hurt so much by my late husband. I didn't want anything to do with a man. I just wanted rest. So I had refused all of his advances. So he hated me, but he was afraid to tell me that he hated me. So after the lockdown, all the companies were like scaling down, and I was retrenched at work because they said that business was down. After that, I was given my package. It was just $1,000. So I paid my bills and I was left with $700. I took the money and I placed it in my business. I then started running my small business at Gulf Complex, like I told you. What I sell, I cannot tell you, for I am afraid of people finding out that this confession, the person who gave you this confession is such and such a person. When I started running this business, I can say that yes, business was doing fine. But I started struggling. Because when I was doing this business, the area that I have, my small market, I have to pay rent, and the rent is quite expensive because competition right now is too tough. At home as well as my child's school fees, since they are twins, I have to do everything double. When I pay school fees, it is double. Transport money is double. Food, everything is just double. So the burden for me was just too much because the profit that I was getting, it was too small. So I then started being friends with this other lady. I met this lady when she had came to Zim, but this lady right now, she's in Tanzania. That is where she is based right now, doing a lot of evil stuff there. But she used to stay in Botswana. Then here and there, she would bring some stuff. She was a clothing runner. And then she gave me a lot of good quality clothes. I then started asking her about other business ideas, and she will say, just put more stuff on your table. That is how I managed to be the person that I am right now. People will tell you lies. They will give you bad advice. They will tell you that if you work extra hard, then you are going to make a lot of money. There is no one on this planet that ever got rich working hard. It is a pure lie. You have to have a lucky break in your life for you to make it in life. Without a lucky break, then you are never going to make it. You will stay poor for the rest of your life. So there was a time where I went to tell her that I want to close my business because things were really hard. I was now really struggling, but my worry was that how was I ever going to be able to take care of my kids? She felt pity for me, so that one day she called me to her home. When she called me to her place, I saw that her mom was not a happy person. Her mom was sick. She was quite sick. And, as a black person, I immediately suspected that her mom, maybe there is something that might have been done to her. Someone was bewitching her. Then she started speaking with me, and she told me that she got a charm, and she used the charm, which helped her to do the business that she was doing. And for her business to go so big, it was because of the charms. She said that right now there is too much competition. No one will ever come to your business if you do not have a charm. You need to have something that will call the customers, because competition is too tough. She said that she only sleep, with those homeless person. Like right now in Harare, there is that pandemic whereby there are kids, homeless kids that are roaming around our CBD. In our country, we call it street kids. She said that on given nights, she has to go out. She pretends as if she is a street lady, a homeless person, yet she is quite wealthy. By our country's standards, she's doing okay. So on that given night, when she is supposed to perform these rituals, she just wears the dirty clothes, drive a car into the CBD, park it at somewhere that is safe. Then she starts to roam around the CBD. And when she sleeps with these guys, it doesn't matter if the guy that she will be sleeping with is a mentally ill person or if it is just a homeless person. She told me that on many given nights, she has been taken advantage of by other men that are not mentally ill and that are not homeless. She said that most of these guys, here and there, a few police officers that will be on patrols have done this to her. And then most of them, they are your street vendors, the ones that stay in the CBD until late at night. Those ones, she said, a few of them have taken advantage of her and slept with her right there in the city. She then said that what these men, what they don't know is that when she is sleeping around with these men, she does not sleep with a single man. At least on a given night, she has to sleep with about 8. For this part of her oath. This is part of her oath and the covenant that she has to keep. Then she goes to the healer who assisted her. Then she removes that seed that the man would have left inside her body, all mixed up. She then said that it depends with the situation. If it happens that the man that she will be sleeping with uses some protection, she says that what she does is that she will say, let me remove that protection that you have been wearing because I want to see if you didn't remove it. Then she will pretend as if she is throwing it away, but she just takes a tissue. Then she keeps that plastic that they would have used. Then she would go and give it to her traditional healer. She told me that right there in her house where I was at that time, she has an altar. This altar, it is in her bedroom. She said to me, do you want to go and see my altar? She asked me casually as if this thing, it was a normal thing. I was afraid. Already I was shaking. It is not an easy thing for someone that she looks up to. Then the person will just give you a confession without ever warning you that the confession that they are about to give you, it might shock you. This lady then said, do you want to go with me so that I can show you the altar that is in my bedroom? I was scared, but I said, it is fine. Let us go. We then went into her bedroom. When we went into her bedroom, I saw that there was a pot. This pot, my brother, there is steam that is always coming out of that pot. And inside that pot, there is semen, like every man that she has slept with. That man's sperm will end up in that big black clay pot that is always steaming all the times, 24/7. She then said that what is happening is that as the man's seed will be cooked, these men, they are being used and their good luck is being stolen. So you can imagine with the men that she has slept with, if you collect all of their good luck, then it means that you will be left with ultra good luck. and whatever she touches, it turns to gold. I then said, so how am I going to fit in this story of yours? She said, you told me, sister, that you are suffering, and I have a plan for you. You can do this thing. You can work for me. That is how I started working for her. So regularly, what I do, my brother, is that if I meet up with a man, if a man tells me that he loves me, if we go to the lodge, then when we have finished doing our stuff, a lot of men, I have realized that I didn't know this fact, but now I have realized that men are quite reckless. It is just a few guys after removing their condom that will try to make sure that they place it in a safe place. Most of the guys, once they are finished, maybe they will be in that mental state whereby they will still be enjoying after making love to you. So if you remove that protection on their manhood, they won't even look at where you have placed that thing. So usually I just take a big tissue roll, then immediately after the man has finished making love to me, then I'll just remove it and wipe off his manhood as if I care. Because of these rituals that I have done some nasty stuff, so as to make sure that the man does not look around trying to see where I have placed his used condom. I have actually sacked some of the men soon after removing the smelly protection that they will be wearing. I do this so as to confuse the men, because a man will always get confused when a woman is busy sucking him up. The first time that I did these rituals, it was a painful thing for me, because I have a brother of mine. Currently, this brother of mine is in South Africa, but he does come back home. At that time, he was back in the country. I don't know if it was a coincidence or if the spirits were the ones that had called him. I ended up sleeping with my little brother. What happened is that when my brother came home, he was in the village, and then I told him that he was supposed to come to the city. And at that time, I didn't have yet bought my own house. I was still staying with that friend of mine, with her weird mother. The mother is really weird. You don't even know if she's mentally ill or if she is just going through a difficult period in her time, in her life. She does not speak. She can't even speak, my brother. The things that she says, it is just random stuff that you won't have a proper conversation with her. But that is another story for another day. So my brother then traveled from the village, and he came, and we went and we picked him up. My friend had already told me that for me to join up with her, to work for her, to be blessed by her, I had to sleep with the one whom I shared the same blood with. We went and we picked him up at 4th. Then we went to my friend's place. And when we went to my friend's place late at night, after giving my brother some herbs, he was still conscious, but he didn't understand what exactly he was doing. Even right now, he does not even remember what I did with him on that night. My friend then said, the bedroom is all yours. When my brother was all drowsy, feeling weak, I then took him and I went with him into my friend's bedroom. When I walked into my friend's bedroom, all the good-looking furniture had disappeared. There was nothing. It was only the altar that was now in the middle of the room. And I was supposed to sleep with my brother close to that altar. After we had slept together, then my friend walked into the bedroom and he asked me if I had done the deed properly. I said, yeah, as you can see. I was so heartbroken knowing that this thing that I had done, it was a taboo, but I had to do it because I had endured so much suffering in my life. I tried to go to different churches, those very famous churches that are here in our country, here based in Harare. I tried all of them. I tried being prayed for. I even paid for one-on-one with different pastors, but it never worked. My business was just not succeeding. That is why I ended up doing these things that I did. I have so much guilt that is in my heart. Even the money that I make out of my business, I can't even enjoy it. I can't even enjoy it. And as for my brother, bad luck will follow him, for I slept with him at that altar, at my friend's altar, including his semen is also included in that clay pot that is always boiling, that has steam that is always coming out of it at all the times. That is my own story, my brother. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that I received from our dear sister. Then we had to give you this translation.